I didn't get the background recorded. I didn't realize I didn't have the button push to record the background. But all I did was took a brown and some unbleached titanium white, and I used a sponge to just sponge across the background from dark to light. Starting with the dark brown at the top and unbleached titanium at the bottom, unbleached titanium white at the bottom. I added a lot of water and I made it more like a stain. So there's not a lot of paint on here. It just kind of stained the wood. And again, I'm still out of rock, so I'm using these coasters until our weather clears up and I can get some rocks or cement or something so I can make rocks. So I am doing this on just a little piece of wood for this project. Now I'm going in and I'm drawing out. I was doing it in a white charcoal pencil. Now I've switched to a gray chalk pencil, not charcoal, but chalk pencil, and just so you can see it. If you would like the traceable file for this, it is located over on my private Facebook group. The link is listed down below. It is Rocking It with April May. That's just join the group and you'll have access to all of the traceable files, which I try to do a traceable file for every video. So now I'm taking some unbleached titanium white and I'm pretty much just going to fill in the whole bird and then go over it with color. And I'm using my Holotype paintbrush, which I use in a lot of my videos. I'm also using Liquitex Basics, which is kind of my go-to paint, acrylic paint. I did end up doing a series of these coasters, or these they're wooden blanks, square wooden blanks. It's a 4-inch square wooden blank that I got off of Amazon. And I decided to just go ahead and do a series of them, where each one, a series of 4, and each one has a different bird. And then I'm going to end up resining the top, putting felt on the bottom, and turning them into a coaster, that wouldn't get damaged if somebody put a glass of water that sweated on it. And so I don't know if you're interested in seeing all 4 videos. I did record all of them. I just wasn't sure if I wanted to post 4 bird painting videos in a row. So I don't plan on doing that, but if you're interested in seeing that, let me know down in the comments below. And if there's enough interest, then I'll go ahead and post those videos as well. If you want to see what those other coasters look like, you can also go to my Facebook page, which is AprilMayFineArt on Facebook, and I have a picture of all of those on there as well. I'm using burnt sienna for the neck of the bird. I use just an orange for the beak with a little bit of brown and a little bit of black in certain areas. I'm using Mars Black for the really dark areas. And now I'm just grabbing some yellow and mixing it with the orange for the beak. I used a dotting tool for the eye. Oh, I guess the yellow was for his eye, not for the beak. I think I do that later. And I am going to have an upcoming series on how to make money with your crafts. I get asked that a lot from my friends and family. And then sometimes you guys ask about making money on with this stuff, like what to make. You know, what is a good idea to make. I will say that I posted the picture of these 4 coasters that I did, and within 10 minutes I had 3 sales. And so obviously a series of coasters that look different, like a series of bird coasters. On my series I had 2 water birds and 2 songbirds. But something like that, something that's a series where not every coaster looks the same, would be a great option. You can also do these in resin, or epoxy resin. There's molds on Amazon where you could make the molds. Instead of using wood, you can make the coaster and then paint the whatever design you want to on there, and then epoxy over the design. That would protect it. Like I said, I'm going to epoxy over, do a coat of resin over all of these coasters to seal in the design so it's not damaged. I also have to seal the wood so it's not damaged from water. So I haven't done that yet, but that's my game plan. You know, offering custom coasters, monogrammed coasters, would be another good way to make money. But anyway, I'm going to do a series on things to make. So it won't necessarily be rocks. Anything I paint, though, you could put on a rock. And I love the whole rock idea, but I get a little bored. So painting on these wooden blanks is kind of, made me want to do some other projects. So for one day a week or one day every 2 weeks, I'm not sure how often I'm going to do them. At the minimum once a month, if not twice a month. I'm going to post some videos on how to make money with your crafts. Most likely they'll all be painting related. A few may just be resin related. I do make things out of resin. And a lot of us that resin our rocks already have resin. So I thought if you've already got it there, you might as well do something with it to make money. But anyway, I want to go ahead and do a series for y'all, for anyone who's interested in making money with their crafts. So if you're interested in seeing those videos, definitely make sure to subscribe so that you're notified when those are posted. Now for the gray of his body, I used phthalo blue mixed with a little bit of gray and white. And this is a pretty easy design, pretty easy bird to paint. It's very simple. there's not a background or anything. And none of the coasters in this series had a background. They were all just a gradient background. Each one's a different color, but they're all just a gradient background. So that makes it a lot simpler. All you're doing is the focal point, and that's it. So now I'm taking that unbleached titanium white with a little bit of white added to it just to lighten it up a skosh, and then creating the feathers on the back. And I'm not filling the back end all the way. I'm just doing long, repeated strokes along the back and his side to create the feathering. You don't want it to look solid. You want multiple colors to create depth through his feathering. I only did a base coat, and then I used a darker darker color of the base. Took the base coat and added a little bit more blue to it to darken it, and then took the titanium white and unbleached titanium white and mixed those two together for the back, for the higher part of his back. Now I'm doing these reeds, water reed. I don't even know what these would be, but and again, I'm using Hooker's green. You could use a sap green depending on what brand. Some people, sap and Hookers are very similar, but I'm mixing into that some of the burnt sienna. And so every time I load my brush, I'm kind of doing a combination of the two. I want every reed or watergrass or whatever this is, but I want every one of them to have a little bit of a different color to create some interest. And that's what gives depth to your painting. If I painted them all green, they would look very flat. But by kind of double loading my paintbrush with a little bit of green on one side and a little bit of brown on the burnt orange brown on the other side, it creates some variety within that brush stroke. And then some of the grass or reeds they're a little bit lighter, some of them are darker, some of them are all burnt sienna or brown, and some of them are all green. You just want some variety. Again, that's what's going to help add depth to your piece. Now we're doing his legs, doing some final touches on his beak. Just kind of touching up some little areas. And adding some more feathering. See, I have a dark line kind of outlining the lower part of his wing, and I don't want that outline, so I am going to go back in and kind of pull that outline up a little bit, and it's going to create more of a shadow instead of an outline by adding some more darkness right above that line. So now here's where I'm going in and kind of fixing that so it doesn't look like it's outlined. Because I want this to look a little bit more realistic and not so much cartoony. So avoiding outlined areas will help with the realism. And again, I'm still layering my colors on. Doing the same stroke, it's just a repeated long, thin stroke, random areas and random placement and random colors And that is going to help with that depth that you want in realism. And like always, I encourage you to sign your piece. I've actually decided to change my signature, which I've done over the years. I've gone through a couple changes. Do y'all ever change your signature? I've done it several times. I've been painting for like 20 years, and I've probably gone through a different signature about every 5 to 10 years. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but I kind of came up with a new signature that's I think will be more pleasing to the piece. But we'll see. So now I'm taking a Q-tip and I'm erasing the chalk lines from when I sketched out my design. And there is the finished product. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.